Hello friends, here's another lovely tutorial on smocking sleeve, and this time around I'm going to show us how I made this arrow pattern. Can't you see how beautiful this pattern is? Isn't this beautiful? Anyway, watch till the end and I'll show you how I was able to make this lovely patterns. Okay, if you're yet to subscribe to my channel, kindly subscribe and don't forget to hit the notification bell so as to get notified each time I upload new sewing videos. Okay, thank you. Okay, now let me quickly show us how to make the second pattern, that's the arrow pattern. Okay, this arrow pattern is totally different from the bones pattern I taught us. This is more it's more tasking, let me just put it that way. This particular one is more tasking compared to the bones pattern. Now for this, you draw just the same way I did on the other one. You know, for the bones pattern, my boxes were 2 inches, right? But for this particular one, it's going to be 1 inch each. That's the length of the box and the width of the box. Okay, it has to be 1 inch each. So after drawing it like so, you take your time to do this. Okay, so after doing it, so next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my marker now and I'll start. Please note, your length and the breadth depends on the widest part of your sleeve, so you multiply it by 3. Okay, you multiply it by 3. So in case you have excess, all you need to do after doing everything, you just place your sleeve pattern and use it to measure what you want out. Okay, so that being said, and I said the boxes will be 1 inch each, unlike the other one that is just 2 inches each. Okay, the fabric that you use is still doll face. Okay, so first thing I'll do is I'll label it. Okay, so I'm going to label it. So to label it, this is my starting point. I hope we can see this. Okay, so this is my starting point. Okay, so I'm not going to touch this, or I could just turn it this way. Okay, so this is my starting point. Okay, so this first box, so what I'll do is 1 2. Okay, 1 2. So this will give me box 1. That's 1 2, box 1. I'm not skipping anything this time around. So 1 2 will give me box 2. You can see what I'm doing. That's 1 2 is box 1, 1 2 box 2, 1 2 box 3, 1 2 box 4. You make sure you write it in the middle. There is a reason for it. 1 2 box 5, 1 2 box 6, 1 2 box 7, 1 2 box 8. I'm just using this for example, okay, for just illustration purpose, so we can see it well. Because if I were to do this on, I don't want to write marker on the fabric. Okay, so at least with this you'll be able to see what I'm doing properly. So now I'm going to start by drawing a V on column 1 here. And how do I draw my V? I just take my marker like so. I need a smaller ruler. Okay, so I'll just take my marker like so, and I'll take my first V like so. Then like so. So what this means is that for the first column, I've drawn my V shape, okay, on the first 2 boxes, as in together. Okay, together. Now I'm gonna skip the next one, this next one. I'll skip it and I'll come to this place. I'll draw my V shape again. You see, now I'm going to skip the next box and I'll jump to the next one and I'll draw my V shape again. So this is what It's very simple. Smocking sleeve is very simple. It's just that it's time consuming. Okay, it's time consuming. It's time consuming. That's why a lot of people run away from it. Then I'll jump this again, I'll skip this, and on this particular one I'm going to draw my V shape again. I'll skip this and draw my V shape again. So that is how you continue until you are through. Okay, so now once you are done with this first roll, okay, this first roll, once you are done with it, next thing is, you know, in the bones pattern, once you draw your slant, your diagonal shape on the first row, you skip the second one, jump on the third one. You know, that was how I did the bone pattern. I think I have, okay, look at the bones pattern here. Okay, so I did one, I skipped one, my diagonal line, I skipped my diagonal line, just like that, then I left this. But for this particular pattern, there is no need skipping anything on the second row. So you continue the same thing you have done here, you do it here, but on one condition, that you will leave, you know, for row 1 I started from the top, but row this second column here, I'm not going to start from the top, I'll skip the top. You know, I didn't skip, I started first before I started skipping. But for this second one, I'm going to skip first before I start. So I'll take my V shape on row 2, like so. Can you see? So I'll skip now, I'll take it on row 4. So that is just to make it very fast. Okay, I know it's not really going to be straight, but just to make it very fast. So I'll just skip again, I'll take this again, skip again, take the next one, skip again, I'll take this. So now on column 3, you know, column 1 I started first and I skipped, but column 2 I skipped first and I started, right? Column 3, I'm going to repeat what I did in column 1 on column 3. So I'm going to start first, then I'll skip here, then I'll continue, I'll skip again, I'll continue, I'll skip again, I'll skip again, and I'll stop here. Okay, so now for column 4, I'm going to repeat everything on column 2, on column 4, and it goes on and on and on. Column 1, I repeated everything on column 3, on column 1. Column 4, I'm going to repeat column 2. Column 5, I'm going to repeat column 1. Column 6, I'm going to repeat column 2. Column 7, I'm going to repeat column 1. Column 8, I'm going to repeat column 2. So that's just, it's very simple. So column 4 now, I'll skip the top because on column 2 the first line was skipped. Oh, so I'll just come here, take my V, I'll skip here, take my V, I'll skip here, take my V, skip, skip. Column 5, I'm going to repeat column 1. So I'll start first, then I'll skip, take this, skip, so this is all about the arrow pattern. Okay, this is the arrow pattern. So this is the arrow pattern. So I'm done. So I'll quickly show us how to, so this is the arrow pattern. Can you see the difference between the first pattern I showed us? This is the bones pattern. Okay, the bones pattern looks a little bit simple, right? But This is the arrow pattern. So next thing I'll do is I'll just show us the one I've already done on my fabric. So can you see? This is serious work, because as you can see, it's much. Can you see? So exactly what I've done here is what I have done here too. Okay, but this is really serious work. So it's going to take some time before I'll be able to finish this. But so I'm going to, let me thread my needle. I need a matching thread, exactly this color. Let me thread my needle and I'll be back to show us how I'm going to do it. Okay, so now to quickly get started, so to do this, first thing to do is, let me, as usual, let me illustrate it on the paper so that we will understand it while I'm doing it on the fabric. So the first thing to do is, I hope you have not forgotten the meaning of PP1, PP2 that I taught us in the bones pattern. Okay, PP1, peak point 1 and peak point 2. But for this particular one, I'll be having my PP1 here. This will be PP1, PP1. This will be PP2, and this will be PP3. So what this means is that for this arrow pattern, this will be my first pick point. After picking it here, I'll connect it with this, and I will merge the three together. So this will also be the same thing: PP1, PP2 and PP3. PP1, 2, PP1, 2, 3. So it goes on and on. And when I get here, when I get to this part, okay, so I'm going to do the same thing. One, this will be PP1, PP2 and PP3. This will be 1, 2 and 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, if I get it, I'll finish it. When I get it, I'll do PP1 again, 2 and 3. It goes on and on and on like that. Okay, so let me just show us how to pick it. So now for this I'll pick this point. This is my PP1. Okay, I'll pick this point like so, pick this point like so. I hope we can see. Let me zoom. So now from this point, I'll just pick it. PP1, this is PP2 and this is PP3. Okay, so I'll pick it like this, pick this like this, 2. Okay, make sure that the end part, this part, you leave, make sure you leave a little here, a little thread that you use to tie everything up. Then this is the third point. Okay, PP3. So pick it like so. So next thing I'll do is I'll connect the 3 together like so. Can you see? Connect the 3 together and tie. The one I left, I'll use it to tie it. Can you see? Make sure you tie it very tight. Okay, use it to tie it like so. So once you tie it, you can tie it maybe 2 or 3 times. So once you tie it, next thing you cut it. Okay, I've tied it like 2-3 times now. So next thing, where's my scissors? Oh god, my scissors always disappearing. Okay, let me use this. So after doing that, so next, so I'm done with this first one. Can you see how it looks like? Okay, so after doing this, next thing is I'll skip this other part. Okay, I've done this. Okay, I'm going to skip this. I'll jump to this row here. So I'll pick it again. This is PP1. So once you pick it, you can even pull it like this, then leave this part, pick point 2, pp2. Okay, so I'll pick point 2. You can pick point 2 like so. After picking point 2, next thing I'll pick point 3 like so. And once I pick point 3, I'll pull them together, pull together, can you see? And I'll tie it. Make sure you tie it properly. Make sure you tie it very tight, very tight. Okay, so once done, as usual, you just cut off. So now I'm done with 1 and 2. I'll skip this part again. I'll do this. So I'm on row 3 now. So can you see how it looks like? So I'm on row 3. Please, when you are making yours, ensure you leave enough space by the edge here. Okay, it's because I didn't leave enough space, but it's already forming anyway. So I'll come here, pick my first point here, pick my first point like so, leave that space. So you just leave your space, then pick the second point like so. Pick the third point like so. Connect the 3 together and tie it up. Connect the 3 together like so. Can you see what I'm doing? Make sure it's very tight, then tie it up. So this is what you just continue doing until you are done with a roll. So when you finish up with a roll, now I'm done with this. I'll skip this. I'll jump to this again as usual. So as usual, I'll just tie the 3 together. So this is what I'll keep doing until I am done with the first row. So this is what I'll do is, let me just finish with the first row, and when I'm about starting the second row, I'll let us know. So let me just, although we won't be able to see it properly, but can you see it's already forming the shape? But let me just continue. So let me finish this roll, okay? And when I get to the second part, don't forget that the second line, this second one, when you want to pick, so exactly the way I've done this, that's how I'll do everything, okay? So on getting to this second line, you skip this part, okay? Unlike the first row, the first column that I did not skip, but this, you are going to skip this part, okay? You just skip it. So once you skip it, you jump on this, you pick it, pick point 1, 2, 3, you skip again, pick point 1, 2, 3, you skip again, pick point 1, 2, 3. So that's how you finish this row. Then these 2, you do it exactly the way you did number 1. Then number 4, you do it exactly the way you did number 2. So let me just round up everything, because you can see it's much, so it's really going to take time. So let me round up everything and I'll show us. So finally I am done. So this is my arrow pattern. Okay, can you see all the patterns, all the arrows facing the same direction, all of them facing the same direction? This is how to make your arrow smocking sleeve. Okay, you can use it as sleeve, you can use it as a form of blouse, a form of design for blouse, that you place it when cutting your bodies. Okay, you use it as the front block while you cut the back the normal way. Okay, you can even use it at the back too, just a form of design. Okay, just a form of design on your blouse, and it will come out so nice, so nice. So if, for example, if you want to use this as sleeve, now you just after you have gathered it, you now after you have smoked it this way, you place your sleeve block, your pattern for your sleeve on it, use it to trace out what you want. Then for the upper side, you just the way I did the other bones pattern. Okay, you can attach elastic at the down parts. This will be the down part where you attach your elastic, and at the upper part you just put your band. That's if you're using off shoulder. Okay, if you're using it for off shoulder, you just cut your band and attach your band to it. Then you attach it to your off shoulder blouse, or if you want to use it for any other style, you know, you just go with the flow. So it's just as easy as ABC. So that's all about the the arrows pattern for a smocking sleeve. Okay, don't forget my method, the method I taught you, the Fenzy way of getting this arrows pattern, your PP1, your PP2, and your PP3. Very important. Okay, and if it's the bones pattern you want to make, don't forget your PP1 and your PP2, how you pick it and how you join it together and how you tie everything together. So it's just as simple as ABC. So try yours and you notice it's very easy, though time consuming. So see you in the next tutorial.